Welcome to BaseballGuys.com. I'm your host on Around the Horn, Ray Flowers. Andre Ethier. Now, all the news in LA has been about Matt Kemp, and with good reason. Spectacular last season, phenomenal start to the year this year. But guess who leads the National League in RBIs? That's right, Andre Ethier. He's also batting .318. He's on pace for about 30 home runs as he pushes for that huge offseason contract. Now, he's making just under $11 million this season. But as a free agent at the end of the year, someone is going to have to pay, and someone's going to have to pay an awful lot. Andre Ethier making a big-time push for that huge contract, again, leading the National League in RBIs. Roy Halladay and Jered Weaver, those are the two big stories, actually, of the day. I don't know why I let off with Andre Ethier, just because I felt like it, I guess. But Halladay and Weaver, the two big stories, both the guys injured, both being placed on the disabled list. A little bit different outlook for the two guys, though. Halladay has got a right shoulder injury. The good news is there's nothing involving the rotator cuff. The bad news is he's probably going to miss 6 to 8 weeks, which is a crushing blow, obviously, to his fantasy owners and a dismal thing for the Philadelphia Phillies in the real world. But what do we expect from Halladay? Now, the doctors and the reports are all saying we expect a full recovery, but there's some concerns here. Halladay struggled with velocity in spring. His miles per hour on his fastball are down about 1.5 miles from where we're used to seeing him this year. His strikeout per 9 rate is a 5-year low. His walk per 9 rate is a 5-year high. And his ground ball to fly ball ratio, though still strong at 1.53, would be a career worse. That's right, a career worse. So a 5-year low in the strikeout column, a 5-year high in the walk column, and a career worse ground ball to fly ball ratio. Don't pretend great things in the future for Halladay. Oh yeah, add in that extra fact that he's lost the velocity. Now, I'm not saying to bail on Halladay. I'm not saying he won't return and be an effective pitcher. I'm merely pointing out the facts. And the facts say that a guy who's thrown 220 or more innings each of the last 6 years, who leads baseball in innings pitched in that time, has probably seen his best days. And it's fair to question, at least for the 2012 season, if Halladay will be an elite arm when he returns. He'll still be good, like I'm saying. He'll still be effective. But expecting a top 5 starting pitcher, probably not in the cards in 2012 for Mr. Halladay. Now, Mr. Weaver, a little bit different story. He's got a lower back issue, a strain of a muscle around the spine is what they're calling it. He didn't want to go on the disabled list. The team made the decision to do so. Excuse me, I'm about to sneeze. We'll just leave that in there. Yes, I do have a cold. Weaver wanted to stay on the roster. The team made the smart decision to DL him. Expectation being 2 to 3 weeks here with Weaver. This shouldn't be a lengthy stay on the disabled list for him. Very good news, obviously, beyond the fact you're going to be without him for a bit of time. Garrett Richards has been called up from AAA to take the spot in the rotation of Weaver. Richards had battled with Jerome Williams in spring for that 5th spot, so Richards will get a chance to prove himself. AL leaguers take note. Mixed leaguers, Weaver shouldn't be too far out. Pretty good news considering how bad it looked after he threw 12 pitches the other night. How about Roy Oswalt, another hurler? Roy Oswalt finally signs with the team. He joins the Rangers, a team he wanted to be with all offseason anyway, signs a $5 million deal to pitch for the Rangers. Now, what do we do with Roy Oswalt? Last we saw Roy Oswalt, he was a league average guy pretty much in the ERA category, in the whip category, in the strikeout category, in the strikeout to walk category. Now, we've seen Andy Pettitte with a similar type of skill base have a lot of success thus far for the Yankees, and I wouldn't put it past Roy Oswalt to have success as well. But understand with Oswalt, he's an aging pitcher who missed the first couple months of the season. Expecting him to be a savior, to be a top 25 pitcher the rest of the way, is asking too much. He'll be good, but not great. When do we see him on the mound? He's been throwing bullpens every other day on the side, and apparently he's in very good shape. Scouts were impressed when they've watched him throw recently. So there's a very real expectation that he'll make about 4 starts in the minor leagues before being activated. That would put him on pace to return to the majors and start his career with the Rangers in late June. Pitch counts and those kind of things could be an issue at the start, but Oswalt looks like he's about a month away from returning to the rotation, and he'll be there to stay, as Neftali Feliz is probably headed back to the bullpen once he's finally healthy. Jonathan Sanchez, oh boy, Jonathan Sanchez, just like Francisco Liriano, huge arms on these guys, 2 lefties that oftentimes have no idea where they're throwing the ball, and that's been particularly the case this year for Jonathan Sanchez. On the year, Sanchez has more walks than strikeouts. More walks than strikeouts for a Royals club. And that's saying something when you look at Sanchez and the fact he's been an 8.9 or better strikeout arm in each of the past 4 seasons when he was on the Giants. Now the Royals gave up Melky Cabrera, who's doing his best Ichiro Suzuki impersonation, leading baseball in hits, and killing it for the Giants right now. and their return was Jonathan Sanchez, who they really need to get right and back out on the hill. He made a start in the minors. It looks like he'll make one more start, potentially a few more. There's a little bit of wishy-washy there. Maybe he doesn't make any more, but I think the Royals will give him at least one more start in the minors before recalling him from biceps tendonitis. Jonathan Sanchez, huge arm, someone to keep on your watch list. Royals really need him badly. Brandon McCarthy, another pitcher that we're talking about today, through another bullpen session on Wednesday. He's good to go to return from that shoulder issue for the A's on Saturday. They'll face the Royals, Jonathan Sanchez's team, on Saturday. Keep a close eye on McCarthy. The injury is not deemed to be major. That's obviously why they're letting him pitch. At the same time, he's had shoulder issues for a long while now. He's a big-time risk to take the ball, 28, 30 times this year for the A's, but when he's out there, he should be effective. And let's close with a bunch of outfielders dealing with injuries, since I spent all that time talking about hitters. Yoenis Cespedes should return on Friday from a hand injury. He's doing things a little bit different, the way he's holding the bat, a little bit different shape on the knob, more of a tapered look for him. He should be good to go on Friday, probably playing left field with Coco Crisp shifting to center. Cameron Maybin missing another game today for the Padres because of the wrist issue. The Padres have Thursday off, so the hope is that Maybin will be able to return from that wrist issue on Friday for the club. Michael Morse played only a couple of innings last night in a minor league game, not because of any injury or setback, but because the game was actually rained out in his return to action from that lat issue. Some whispers that he could return this weekend as a pinch hitter. The team has said all along they want him back on June 8th when they start interleague play and need a DH when they face the Red Sox. Either way, Morse is closing in on a return. Desmond Jennings, knee issue, was supposed to be a couple of days. Then it was supposed to be 15-day DL stint. It's obviously been longer than that, but good news. He's been cleared for baseball activity. Very real expectation that he'll return next week for the Rays. And then finally, Nick Markakis, who injured his wrist, had some x-rays. Everything turned out clean with Markakis. He should be good to go, though he may miss a day or two for the Orioles. I'm Ray Flowers, BaseballGuys.com. Thanks for joining me on Around the Horn. Talk to y'all again soon.